Hi everyone, I'm Cheryl Jacobs and I am here with Jeremy Deighan. Did I say that correctly?
Yeah, perfectly.
And he is the owner of Online Course Igniter, and he's made six figures selling courses, marketing, and he's also a coach who teaches people how to sell their courses. And without him, I would have not had any sales on my courses. So when I met him, I started at maybe one students, and now I have 61 thanks to Jeremy. So I
Nice.
wanted you guys all to meet him and get some insights from him, and if there's any questions you wanted to ask him later, or you can put them in the comments below, or you can DM him or me and we can answer them for you. So hi Jeremy.
Hey, how's it going?
I know I haven't spoken to you for a while. We've both been traveling and everything else.
Yeah, it seems like one of us is always traveling. Either you're going or I'm going.
Oh, it's craziness. Thank God we both have online businesses, which makes it a lot easier.
That's right.
So tell me, when was it that you first started creating courses?
It was back around, I think the first course I put online was actually in 2015. I'd done a little bit of online business and different things before that, but I think my actual first course was in around the 2015, about summer of that time.
And what was that first course?
So that first course was on Canva. If anyone out there is unfamiliar, Canva is a social media graphic design program. It makes it really easy to create graphics for social media, PowerPoint presentations and stuff like that. And I had been learning it at the time. It wasn't a very popular application. It was gaining popularity, but it was still kind of unknown. I had been using it and I really enjoyed it. And I have a little bit of a design background. And so I just figured, hey, why not just teach this? I'm already using it and love it. So I put a course up and it was all downhill from there.
I actually love Canva, and I remember when I first started my online businesses, I would hire people to create these Canva flyers for me and bulletins and everything like that. And they would charge me $150. And once I learned how to do Canva, I was like, wow, you all just really ripped me off. Very simple. It's a template with copy and paste and everything like that. And I love it. And I do all my flyers myself. Even the one that was announcing for today is linking and everything.
Yeah, that's the cool thing is they keep updating it. So it's a SaaS service software as a service program, and because of that, it's online. They're always updating it, so they're adding like animated text and all this stuff. I actually am a Canva certified consultant because I've been using it for so long. I'm actually in their like secret group and I get to hear about all the cool updates coming out and stuff. So it's a great application. It makes social media and design so much easier. I come from a background of Photoshop and Illustrator. I've been using Photoshop since I was like 15 years old when it was probably Photoshop 1 or Photoshop 2. And I mostly only use Canva now just because it's so easy. It just makes it so much easier.
It really is easy. And today, how many courses do you sell online?
Um, I need to look this number up because I keep getting asked this question when I get interviewed, but it's live right now. If you go to my Udemy page, which is where I have a lot of my courses hosted, that's where I got my start. So that's where the majority of the stuff that you'll find from me online is right now. There's between 12 and 16. Now, I kind of forget the number because not only have I created courses myself, I have co-instructed courses with other people, and I've also produced courses for others. And so I always kind of lose track a little bit, but it's about live courses right now, I think is probably around 16, and courses that I've done with others or have produced for others, probably almost 24. I don't know the exact number.
Wow, that is amazing. I'm
Yeah.
I'm a I'm up I'm down to I have two courses. I have the how to build your own online course, and I have how to franchise your business. And I just created all these workout videos because everybody knows I'm this big workout buff now, and those are launching pretty soon. So I'm way far behind you, but honestly, I didn't know how to market any of my courses before I met you. And I hope if none of you are a part of Jeremy's online course igniter or my build your own online course, there's daily tips every single day, and it's a free group, and you can join either one of them. You'll get access to both of us. Jeremy has helped me, coached me through selling my courses, and honestly, I wouldn't have known where to begin. I kind of did it backwards, which I wouldn't recommend, is create the course and then try to market it. Whereas Jeremy teaches you to market and everything and prepare a launch, which helps sell the courses much better. So take Jeremy's advice. Don't make the same mistake.
Yeah, and you know, also on top of that, I've created a lot of courses, and I did it backwards myself. That's why I'm teaching this stuff now, is because I've realized all the mistakes that I've made, and I want to help others not make those same pitfalls. So I was in a course creation hamster wheel where I knew if I created a new course, it would bring in new revenue for the marketplace that I was on, which is Udemy, because that's kind of how it works. You create new content and you can remarket your previous courses. Now, looking back on it, I probably wouldn't have 16 courses if I started over knowing what I know today. I would have one program that I focused all my efforts around. So it's actually a good thing not to have 16 courses, because I'm just spread too thin as it is. Looking back now, I would do, one content channel, one course, one program, and just simplify. I think we tend to make it a little too complicated sometimes.
And your courses that you do have on file, do you go back and add to them later, or you just kind of let them run their course?
So I used to update them quite frequently. I haven't updated those courses in a while. I kind of drifted away from the graphic design stuff. So my courses on there is mostly around design and audio. So like I have some music courses and some audio production courses. I have graphic design, Photoshop, Canva, stuff like that. And I just realized that though I enjoyed making courses, I was losing interest in those fields because I wouldn't consider myself a graphic designer per se. I'm more of a marketer, entrepreneur type person. And so I kind of let those courses go to the wayside. And I began helping others with online courses. Actually, what happened was my mother was sick in the hospital. And I was trying to figure out how I could continue my business, but I obviously couldn't spend much time on it. I was constantly with her. And so what I did was I started reaching out to people who had, hobbies and passions. And I started working with them and creating courses for others, producing them for others. And then I began coaching. And that's kind of where it got me where I am today. So today, my focus is a lot more on helping course creators and marketing, things of that nature. So those courses have gone a little to the wayside. I still, log in and will answer questions every now and then and check up on things. But if you have a main program, it should be a constant refinement process. So you should always be making it better, always asking your students and your audience, what they like and don't like, and then what you can do to actually make that course a better experience for that person.
Yeah, I definitely, since you helped me create my Facebook group, Build Your Own Online Course, me posting daily and asking people, what do you want to learn about? Because, I have run 10 businesses now. 4 of them right now are online. But I do consider myself somewhat of an expert, but there's always that learning curve. There's always things that you can learn from people that will help you to, see things that you didn't even think about.
Right.
When I started the group, there was things that people put on my wall that I wouldn't even consider. So I would definitely think, you never know until you really put it out there and what people really need and what people really want until you start asking those questions. And that's why Jeremy's course is so great, because every single day he's asking you questions. I know you put a couple on today. I didn't write it down what you put, but every single day he's asking questions like what, I mimic him, like I would ask people, well, what does my store do? My store is an e-commerce store. So I ask people, what is your favorite e-commerce? And I learn things from people
Mhm.
of what works and what doesn't work. And it's such a great tool having a free Facebook group. And without Jeremy, I wouldn't have had it, and I wouldn't have had my student. Um, and I know you had a live on the other day that I tuned in for a while. It was actually a few months ago, about what is the best platform to sell your courses. Can you touch a little bit on that? I know you do yours on Udemy. I do mine on Thinkific. So what is, in your opinion, is the best place to sell your courses?
Yeah. So I got started on Udemy. Udemy is what I consider a marketplace. So it is a place where you can go and find thousands of other instructors who have courses on that platform. So this is very similar to like Amazon. You go on Amazon and there's a bunch of stores selling products. You go on a marketplace like Udemy or Skillshare or Lynda, and it's a marketplace of instructors selling their courses. Now, I got in kind of in the early days and saw a lot of success. And I would attribute some of that success to the fact that I got in early and I was able to capitalize on some course, names and keywords and things that just wasn't as popular at the time. For instance, Canva. I quickly grew as the #1 ranked Canva course on the platform for a long time. Another course I have is GarageBand. I think to this day, if you go type in GarageBand on Udemy, my course will pop up as the #1 or #2. And so I had some early success. However, as time went on, I realized that there are some pitfalls on the platform, such as the ability to control your pricing, the ability to retain the student information like their email and payment information, that kind of stuff. And then, just rules in general. I've seen people kicked off these platforms for various reasons. And so it really made me start rethinking the way that I thought about courses. So I started going out and doing research and realized that there's a lot of people selling courses, not just on Udemy, but on their own platforms. And that is when you can get into self-hosting a course, and you can use software. There's a lot of software that makes it easy. Thinkific is one of them, Teachable, Kajabi, Zenler. Those are all the really popular programs right now that are doing it. You can also host it on a WordPress site. You could even have plugins. There's a plugin called LearnDash, and LearnDash integrates with WordPress, and you could have a course experience through your WordPress website. So there's a lot of different ways to do it. Typically, you go to a marketplace because they will help you market. There's already students going there and buying courses. And so all you have to do is get your course in front of them and make some sales. But you're giving up a lot of control by doing that. And so when I teach and when I coach people, I steer them more towards self-hosting themselves so that you retain more of the control, you can control the pricing, and you get to keep the student information. So to me, customer acquisition is probably one of the most important things you can have. Without that, you really don't have much of a business. What I mean by that is if you build your business on a platform like Udemy, or say you even build your business on YouTube and you become this famous YouTube star and you're making a ton of money on YouTube, but one day they come in and they change the rules or they change their algorithm and then you go to nothing. If you haven't been acquiring the customer information and you don't have an email, you don't have their name, an address, a phone number, or any way to contact them, and then say Udemy or YouTube kicks you off their platform, you're left with no business. And so to me, one of the most important components that I really started focusing on was making sure to help people start building their email list, start acquiring customers in different ways and having that information, which you normally can't do on a marketplace. So in the beginning, I started off on a marketplace, but I've moved more toward helping others self-host on their own platforms.
Oh, there you are. Would you suggest to sell your courses on several platforms, or would you suggest just sticking to the one that works best for you?
I believe that the more that you do, the more your focus is going to be spread thin. So I feel this way about courses, about content, and just anything that you're doing basically in life. That if you have your hand in too many pots, nothing's going to turn out right. So I would focus on just picking one platform and one content channel to really have your courses on. So for instance, what I would recommend is pick one place to host your course. So let's say you pick Thinkific, which is a hosting platform. Now, they're not going to sell your course. You have to bring the sales yourself. So then we focus on one way to get traffic, and that's usually through some type of content. It could be through Facebook ads, it could be through a blog or a podcast. So pick one of those. YouTube is great for course creators because it's an easy transition to go from YouTube to an online course. So we have our platform, we have our content channel, and then have a community like we talked about earlier. Having a place where you can ask questions and have direct one-on-one feedback with people is very important. And I would just pick one of those. So I would pick maybe a Facebook group, a YouTube channel, and Thinkific to host my course, and then really start drilling down that process very well until it's just a well fine-tuned oiled machine. Because if you try to do a YouTube channel and a podcast and a blog and Twitter and Instagram and TikTok and all these different things, nothing's going to turn out very well because you're not really learning any of the platforms. So I would suggest just pick one and really dive deep into that.
So your Facebook group, you channel people to go directly to your Udemy courses, correct?
Not right now. Currently, there's nothing going to Udemy for me. The only revenue I make on Udemy is when Udemy sells my course at this time. I used to have a YouTube channel for my courses, and I would stick say I had a 4-hour course, I would stick 1 hour of lectures up on YouTube and then direct them to the Udemy course. And that worked pretty well. But nowadays I don't even direct people to Udemy. It's everything is just all in my own. So right now, for Online Course Igniter, what I do is I'm driving everyone into a Facebook group. Through that Facebook group, I ask questions, I find out problems that people are having, and I get all this information. I survey them. As you know, you've been in my group for long enough, you'll know I'll send out surveys and say, hey, can you take a minute to fill this out? I'll gather all this information up, and then I will create a program around that information. See, you talked about doing it backwards before, and that's what I used to do. I used to make a course on what I thought was cool, I'm going to make a course on Photoshop, and I'd go make a 10-hour, 16-hour course on Photoshop and put everything into it. And then it wouldn't sell well. And I would be like, man, I put my heart and soul into this. Why did it not sell? Well, the reason why is because I never really found out what people needed. So I create the Facebook group to get questions about what people are really looking for. So if I had a Photoshop group, I would ask them, hey, what are you struggling with Photoshop? What don't you know how to do in Photoshop? Why do you want to learn Photoshop? Those questions are questions you should be asking too. Like, why does someone want to know it? Are they just playing around? Is it a hobby? Are they trying to get a job? You talk to those people and create courses around all that information differently. And so once you have that community, you get that information, then you can build a program around that and then build your marketing to sell that course.
Okay. Sorry, my phone keeps dying. I gotta keep playing. The last question I really wanted to ask is, now that you know that to kind of not put the horse before the carriage and to work backwards to market first and then sell your courses and create the course, or create the course then sell. For somebody who's just starting out and they're lost, what has been the best way for them to market their course? Say I'm on Thinkific, and you say it's self-promotion because they won't help you like Udemy will. Mm-hmm. But if somebody's lost and they don't know what to do, what is your suggestion that they should do to help market that other than a Facebook group? Especially if you're not really selling your course on a Facebook group or directing them to Thinkific or Udemy, what's your suggestion on how to market from there?
Well, one thing that we have to understand is marketing is basically just building relationships. And how you do that doesn't really matter. What matters is that you're building a relationship with a person, and through that relationship, you are offering something to them that they need help with. and you are giving the solution. And if the pain is big enough that they want to change and they want to learn, or they want to do whatever it is that you're offering, they will do that in exchange for money. And I think that we complicate it a lot, way too much. We worry about platforms, and we worry about marketing and car salespeople tight selling and all this different stuff. And it really can be a lot more simplified. So I have a podcast, an online course igniter podcast, and I've had the chance to speak to some amazing people doing 6, 7, and 8 figures in online courses. And these
Wow.
niches range from everything from drones to Excel to piano. Like I can't wait for you to hear all these episodes, because they're great. But what I've learned in that time is that everyone goes about it a lot differently. I was talking to one person, and they were promoting their courses through in-person live events. So they were hosting these free events. They would put